Hello, my name's Terry Brightwater and welcome to the Inner Space vlog. This is vlog 51 and this vlog's theme is emotional honesty and expanding our comfort zone. So it's been a while since my last vlog. I've been aware of this theme for several weeks now, but I really needed to get some clarity for myself as I've been coaching myself and my clients. I'm a holistic life coach and quantum space clearer, and this vlog is all about my journey with my own inner process around evolutionary themes that I've noticed as I work on myself with my holistic life coaching and with my clients that I see throughout the week. So this theme of being emotionally honest has been around for several weeks now, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of how we need to be much more emotionally honest about what our needs are, particularly our emotional needs. And I think I've said in previous vlogs that our emotional self, our emotional intelligence really is the glue from a holistic perspective. It holds our spiritual soul self, our quantum self, to our physical self. It brings the two together, and without a decent awareness of consciousness around our feelings and a regular engagement, a daily engagement with our feelings consciously, taking responsibility for them, we can't really bring those two worlds of spirit and our sort of physical selves together. They tend to be very sort of separate, like either one without the other. Whereas emotional intelligence really brings it all together. It's kind of like the catalyst for holistic living. So this theme's really important, and sort of like as I've been working myself and clients, this theme of emotional honesty, how it expands our comfort zone, which I'll go into that in a little bit more later with some graphics on a rock, is that when we're being emotionally honest, we quite often notice what I call the elephant in the room syndrome, where there's this great big emotional issue, usually in relationships or in a situation, that we haven't really been fully aware of, we haven't fully engaged with, we're not being fully honest about. And usually once we say, oh my gosh, there is an elephant in the room, let's name it, let's deal with it, and roll it outside where there's more room. So when we are emotionally honest about what our needs are and making those needs a priority, we end up we usually, to do that, to be honest, we need to take a risk in our relationship with ourselves and with our relationships with others as well, particularly in some intimate relationships. So I've found this very useful myself personally, and with my clients as well. We've had some real breakthrough moments of realising the elephant in the room through emotional honesty, then being able to be much clearer about what are our emotional needs, making them a priority, and then that naturally expands our comfort zone, a zone that we've been used to. In order for that comfort zone to expand, we need to take a risk. So I'm just going to go over to the rock now. So here we are at the big rock, and as you can see there is two circles, and the outside of the outer circle as well. So in the middle here we have the comfort zone, which is kind of what we're kind of familiar with, and then outside of that we need to step out of our comfort zone to go into a risk zone. And we need to regularly do this, otherwise our comfort zone won't get any bigger. In fact, if we don't take any risks in our life, our comfort zone gets smaller and smaller, as does our risk zone. So we want to be, we don't want to get carried away with our ego and pride around taking big risks. They need to be discerning and calculated, but enough to take us out of our comfort zone. Because if we go too far out of our risk zone, you can see our friend here, well, not so friendly, we panic. And that means we don't grow at all. We quite often end up getting smaller. So we need to sort of be mindful, take regular daily steps in coming out of our comfort zone and risking, particularly in our emotional awareness, our emotional honesty, and getting clear about what our emotional needs are. You know, really asking for more than we've had before, but bearing in mind to be real about that, to grow one step at a time. So I hope that makes sense, and it really is kind of essential for our everyday growth and for a real emotional accompaniment to our holistic living. So, as we take our risks, part of taking a risk is once we've identified what our new emotional needs are through our emotional honesty, what happens when we start to manifest our new emotional needs, once we've got clear about what they are and they become a priority. The first law of physical emotional manifestation is that we create a vacuum, and that in a way is part of the risk zone. It's quite often why we resist being emotionally honest, that maybe this relationship, this friendship, this situation, this job, etc., needs to come to an end. We need to be much more emotionally honest about it, identify the elephant, deal with it, be much more honest about what we do really need, make that a priority. And once we ask for something new to come in our lives, the old relationship, the old situation, the old circumstances goes out of our lives. And that's essential to manifest our new emotional priorities that will have a physical manifestation as well. We need to make space for them. We need to make space for these new things. So it creates a vacuum. So part of this comfort zone, this risk zone, is that we need to take a risk. We need to risk that job that actually we really don't like, but it does pay the bills, or it pays some of the bills, and actually we need something that pays all the bills and a job that we need, that we really enjoy. We ask for that. So it's quite often before that new job happens, the old one goes. So we need to trust that and need to, that we're going to be resourced emotionally and physically as that new situation starts to manifest, and being comfortable with the discomfort, because risking is kind of uncomfortable, but we need to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable in the risk zone, and that means being comfortable with the discomfort of our vacuum. We have created that vacuum. We've asked for something new. The first stage of physical emotional manifestation is a vacuum. So again, that's part of taking responsibility emotionally and physically for what we're asking for, and to start to chill out, to start to really enjoy that actually amazing feminine quality of receptivity, of this spaciousness, of this beautiful vacuum. And that's why it's important to ask, like step by step, so we don't panic about great big vacuums that we create, which can send us, on a real spin, sort of like emotionally. And sometimes that happens, but we can manage that, quite well on a daily basis if we take like baby steps, sort of like small steps each day, each week, and gradually, just take ourselves sort of halfway out of our comfort zone, but not all the way. And so we create smaller vacuums that we can get used to. And once we've got used to that, we can create bigger vacuums. When you get used to taking more risks, these sort of, our comfort zone around that gets bigger. Like I explained earlier on. So I hope that's all making sense to you. And in the meantime, to support you in your emotional honesty and comfort zone and taking risks, there's a little affirmation. So the affirmation is, I'm being emotionally honest and going with the flow. I'm expanding my emotional comfort zone so I can holistically grow. Yay! So I look forward to seeing you in the next vlog, and in the meantime, much love and many blessings on your inner space and your expanding your comfort zone and your emotional honesty. And if you need any support or help, then please do contact myself, Terry Brightwater or J Brightwater, at www.inspirational-living.co.uk. That's our website, and there's our contact details on our website. So see you in the next vlog.